there, listener. It's Will. I hope you're doing well. Just wanted to sneak in here real quick and let you know that the audio for the first couple seconds of this episode isn't fantastic, but for the rest of it, we should be good to go. So, with that, I will see you soon and enjoy the episode. Welcome to this. My name is Will, and unfortunately, Matt is not joining us today. I know it's a super big bummer, and I'm sorry for that. But I hope you're doing well nonetheless. Happy you're joining me today. You and I are going to be chatting about the habits of highly effective CEOs. Now, I'm not going to do MEPS, again, our little acronym. How are we feeling mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually by myself? I won't be doing it by myself because that might be a little awkward. But consider doing that with a friend because it's super valuable to, sit there or stand there and listen because you want to know how your friend or your mom or your, daughter are doing. So feel free to give that a try. Now, before we get into this episode on the effective CEOs, I do want to share with you a couple things that I've been doing and then I've been learning on self-development, if you will. So, with regards to faith, I often write to friends and respond by saying amen to whatever it may be. This just happened to me. It was awesome. Amen, brother. Uh, I just got an A on my medical exam. Amen. And it's funny because I'll say that to somebody whether they're religious or not, and I don't think they necessarily know what it means. Amen is a Latin word that means I believe. And so I say that because I'm not just telling that person I believe in the Most High to that person, I'm saying I believe to the Most High. And I do that because he sees everything, and I want to express my gratitude and my belief for him as often as possible. The other thing I wanted to share with you is this small habit you can implement when you're feeling anxious. So if you are, first of all, I'm happy that you're here because I might be able to help. So try to focus on the loudest thing you can hear right now. And then go ahead and focus on the quietest thing you can hear right now simultaneously. And then go ahead and focus on one body part that you can feel. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's a ring finger, a elbow of yours, a knee, go ahead and touch it and think about these three things simultaneously. What's cool is you'll notice that you can't focus on anything else. You're just focused on these three things. So the internal monologue that you're constantly having with yourself ceases and you're becoming fully present. Now that you have that in your arsenal, I'm glad that you do. Let's go ahead and hop into these habits of highly effective CEOs. Now, I've been incredibly inspired by a podcast called Founders, and I wanted to take a bit to just chat with you about some CEOs that are inspirational to me. So, we're going to explore these bizarre and surprisingly effective habits of the world's most influential CEOs. So, I'm talking time blocking, right? I'm talking fasting. So, this episode isn't about copying success. Please know that. It's about understanding what disciplines create uncommon clarity, endurance, and decision-making power. So, listener, if you're running a business, preparing to acquire one, or just curious about how the top 1% operates behind the curtain, this episode is for you. So, these are the quiet acts of silent service, the small disciplines of personal sacrifices that serve the self, shape the soul, and ultimately bless others, right? The people that you love and admire. So they reveal who someone truly is, even when no one is watching. Let's kick it off with a guy you may know of. His name is Elon Musk. So, Mr. Musk is known for many things, right? Rockets, cars, Twitter wars, but one of his most underrated tools is how he manages time. This is crazy. Musk slices his day into 5-minute intervals, assigning each block a specific task in a schedule that regularly exceeds 80 hours per week. 80 hours. This microstructure isn't micromanagement, it's survival. So he groups tasks, cuts meetings short, and maintains deep focus to lead multi-billion dollar ventures without burning out completely. So Elon's not winging anything. He's scheduling it, and it's incredible. Alrighty, that's fascinating. Let's hop into Mr. Tim Cook. Maybe you know about him as he relates to Apple. So Tim Cook starts his day at 3:45 a.m. when most of the world is fast asleep, and that is not a typo, listener. So this Apple CEO, Mr. Cook, is already triaging global operations and clearing his inbox. So this extreme morning routine isn't about discipline alone, it's about clarity. He finds that he is most clear in the early hours of the morning when no one else is awake and no one else is bugging him. So, in these quiet hours before any kind of distraction, Cook creates space to think, act, and lead. It's a subtle form of control over a world that rarely stops moving. I'm sure you can relate to that because I most certainly know I can. Alrighty, let's hop into a guy named Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey doesn't just think differently, he lives differently. He co-founded Twitter and Block, formerly Square, and he eats only one meal a day, dinner. On weekends, he fasts completely from Friday to Sunday, and his days include meditation, ice baths, and long walks. Maybe you should put that on a dating profile if he's not married or engaged or with somebody. So Dorsey isn't just chasing performance hacks, he's building mental and physical resilience. And this minimalist lifestyle that he has developed reflects a belief that clarity often requires subtraction, not addition. So it's almost like it's not about the stuff you are doing, it's about the stuff that you got to stop doing. So pretty fascinating. Now, Bill Gates, right? Maybe you've heard of this individual. Um, he is a um, well, he resides in Seattle. I was trying to figure out another way to say that. Whatever. But twice a year, Mr. Bill Gates disappears. I'm talking no meetings, no calls, just a cabin, a stack of books, and a notebook. So you're like, what in the world? Well, these think weeks that he calls them are designed for deep reflection and exploration, not just internally, but externally on Microsoft and on the philanthropic ventures that he's a part of. So he does this to produce a sharp contrast to the noise of daily leadership. Gates credits these retreats with shaping some of Microsoft's biggest breakthroughs. So, in a world addicted to input, he prioritizes isolation to access insight. Powerful, powerful stuff. So, what I gather from that is, if you want to be successful, you must take a deep look inside of the self as opposed to what's going on externally. Block out everything that's going on in your environment and focus on the self. At least that's what I intend to do with my newfound silent service habits, thanks to these individuals. Now let's talk about another great mind. Maybe you've heard of this individual as well. He goes by the name of Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett reads over 500 pages a day. He is a voracious reader. And that's not just a flex, it's his operating system. He spends up to 80% of his day reading financial reports, books, and newspapers. Why? Because for Buffett, better input leads to better decisions. And a little fun fact about him is he obviously Warren Buffett, in case you didn't know, is the founder of Berkshire Hathaway, and it's a holding company. And it's just fascinating because he doesn't invest in a company that he doesn't understand. So this is why he reads so much. So he doesn't allow himself to miss a decent opportunity. So it's a slow habit. All of these habits are slow, that deliver fast advantages when it counts. So in a results-driven world, Buffett is a reminder that thinking matters, right? So cool. Now, let's go ahead and chat about Reed Hastings. Reed Hastings, forgive me, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name. But more specifically, Reed founded Netflix. Maybe you've heard of that. I'm sure you have. But Reed leads with a rare kind of honesty. At his company, radical candor isn't just allowed, it's expected. Anyone can give feedback to anyone, including the CEO. So it's almost like a horizontal hierarchy, if you will. Like nobody reports to anybody else. Like speak your mind because radical honesty is what's vital to Netflix success. So Hastings, I'm going to go with Hastings. The pronunciation believes in truth spoken in real time, even when it's uncomfortable. This discipline of directness keeps Netflix agile, honest, and always evolving. Culture for him isn't just a buzzword, it's infrastructure that has allowed him to dominate this film industry. Fascinating. Forgive me if I overuse that word, but that's just how I'm feeling. Now, let's talk about another individual. If you have an Amazon Prime account, maybe you're familiar with this gentleman. His name is Jeff Bezos. And famously, Jeff implemented the two pizza rule, which means no internal team should be so big it can't be fed with two pizzas. Fascinating. This is the same individual that doesn't allow PowerPoints at any company meetings. Learned that in business school, and just so cool. But this strategy fosters accountability, speed, and clear ownership. But it's not just team size. Bezos also avoids making major decisions in the afternoon because he knows cognitive energy fades. So he protects his mornings for high stakes thinking. So what's the takeaway here? Guard your mental bandwidth like it's your most limited asset because it is, right? Mental bandwidth, crucial asset. Time, crucial asset. A lot we can take away and learn from Jeff Bezos. Now, let's talk about a fascinating founder here, CEO here, by the name of David Neilman. He is the founder of JetBlue, excuse me. And when he flies coach on purpose. He walks the aisle, takes notes, and watches customers. Why? Because he believes the best insights come from the experience, not the office. Newman's humility created one of the most customer loved brands in air travel, all because he refused to lead from a distance, right? Once again, we've said this quote several times in past episodes, but people don't care what you know until they know you care. So his employees, his subordinates see this kind of dedication to the work, and oh my gosh, they are motivated by his leadership. So leadership to David means staying close to the problems, right? Being there day in and day out when your average founder might step away and go enjoy a vacation in Sevilla or something like that. David is an anomaly. So let's go ahead and talk about another individual by the name of Truett Cathy. If you've ever been to a Chick-fil-A and enjoyed yourself, you may want to thank this person. So Truett Cathy built Chick-fil-A on a foundation that baffled Wall Street. He closed every location on Sundays because he is extremely faithful, and that is the most important thing to him. And so that decision, again, rooted in his faith, cost the company billions of dollars. Like, how many times have you gone to a Chick-fil-A on Sunday and realized, oh my gosh, Chick-fil-A is not open on a Sunday, and you went to, I don't know, Subway? Well, I mean, he does it because he knows himself. And I mean, it's so cool. But like I said, the company it misses out consistently on billions of dollars, but earns its trust, loyalty, and identity through this faithful worship aspiration, if you will. Now, Cathy believed that integrity and consistency were more, excuse me, were worth more than convenience. He didn't just build a business; he built a belief system people could experience with every chicken sandwich. And I believe if you wanted to thank him at some point in time, if you ever had the privilege of meeting him, I bet he would respond with my pleasure. I don't know, it seems like something like they like to do over there at Chick-fil-A. But those are the little short stories I wanted to explain with regards to silent service of prominent, extremely prominent CEOs today, and I hope that you got something out of this episode. So, in closing, listener, these habits are more than just quirks, they're signals. What I mean by that is signals of leaders who take their time, energy, values, and focus seriously, right? They see their position and their companies as a privilege to own and to operate. Some of them read for hours, right? Others meditate, some fast, others schedule like surgeons. Elon, the point isn't to copy their methods, it's to find your own rhythm. So the hope for you here, listener, is to take what you like from this episode and from these habits of CEOs and to implement them if it feels right to you and participate in your own version of silent service. So, as you build, whether it's a business, a legacy, or a life purpose, success will come not just from what you do, but from how you shape yourself to do it. So, I hope you enjoyed that, listener, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next episode. We'll have Matt back on the podcast, and gosh, I'm excited for that. I hope you have a lovely 4th of July holiday, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much.